California Spring Trials is Fashion Week for our industry, or maybe you can think of it like the auto show, a chance to see many of the coolest new products available for upcoming seasons. Dozens of global breeding companies and innovative plant introduction companies set up along the California coast in early spring to showcase new crops that have been in development for years, even decades. New series, additions, upgrades, and sometimes brand new plants are grown out and discussed in detail for the better part of a week to drive interest from visiting growers, retailers, and distribution companies. It's also a time to catch up with old friends, solidify strategic partnerships, and revel in the beauty created by our industry. We've done this for decades and we'll do it again in 2026 from March 24th to 27th. Registration is managed by the National Garden Bureau, and you can sign up to secure your spot at caspringtrials.us. In fact, registration is essential. A quick reminder before we get started. New for this year, if you're visiting a location with more than one exhibiting company, like most of them, registration by location means you register for all companies when you schedule your appointment at caspringtrials.us. But be sure to allocate plenty of time for stops with multiple companies. One click doesn't mean one quick visit. Take, for example, the Head Start Nursery Stop or the Santa Barbara Polo Club. You can register for the location, but you'll need to allocate time for all of the exhibiting companies, and that can mean as many as 100 new varieties. Last but not least, check out the suggested itineraries at caspringtrials.us. If 2026 will be your first time visiting the trials, or you haven't been in a few years, they will be very helpful. Let's hear about some of the things you'll see and experience at Spring Trials this year. I'm your host, Bill Calkins, and today, as part of our cast preview miniseries, I'm here with Dwight Deppen from Benary to hear about what the company has in store for us this March. This will be a quick conversation, but hopefully it inspires you to register and start thinking ahead as you plan your crop mix for the future. Dwight, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Well, every trial location is different, and I know from visiting the Benary site for a bunch of years now that you guys have a lot of space, and you tend to fill it with large amounts of plants, and it's always a fun stop because we get to see a lot of plants on benches side by side and really get a true sense of each crop. So can you tell us a little bit about where Benary's located in the Spring Trials tour and how you describe the general vibe of the stop?
Well, that's a good question because it's all changed this year. And so this year, we've kind of thawed out from Northern California and are migrating south to Southern California. And the good people at Pour Lamar Growers, they are hosting us. Down in Southern California, it's just winter is just kind of a rumor and no longer northern climate anymore. So that's great. We did make a break from the cold north, and we are the vibe, I'd say, warm, sunny, relaxed, and just enough chaos to keep things really interesting at Port Lamar this year. So we're really excited about that. And as far as our theme, without giving too much away, let's just say it's a big year for the nation. And we felt it only right to lean into that energy. I think warm weather meets important milestones in our country, meets a little creative mischief. And that's all I'm going to say before marketing puts me on a watch list.
I love it. I love it. That sounds like fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new location is like. And you guys, you're there alone, right? You don't share that location with anybody?
That is correct.
Okay. And looking back to last year, what do you think was one big hit from your trials? And I know my favorite, and you know my favorite, was the Whopper, the bronze leaf salmon, which you sent me some, and they're absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not even saying this for the podcast. They were the last annual to come out of my garden. They looked good until they didn't. And that was really, really cool. But for you, looking back at 2025, what was one of the big hits?
Well, I really liked the new Whopper and the color. I thought it was great. However, it's an easy selection for me. It's really the Pentis Graffiti Falls Rose. I think that stole the entire show, even though that there wasn't a lot of color on it. It's no contest. This variety truly trails like no other Pentis. Honestly, I think it's very groundbreaking and almost has a new variety celebrity status, in my opinion. It really opens the door to a lot of summer baskets that can be done, especially paired with other heat loving warriors like scabolas, dichondras, convolvulus, evolvulus. They all really mix well with this plant and make great combinations or standalone. I think all those varieties, the color really pops. The blue color pops with the rose, so that I think they really make a nice combination and make great baskets for the new pentas.
That was a very cool plant, and everybody was talking about it. And you guys are kind of the market leader in pentas, I think, and it certainly was a really cool addition. I also like the marigolds. Like you guys had those two new, they were vegetative marigolds, right?
That is correct. No, there you are.
They were pretty cool.
Seed marigolds won AAS winner.
Okay. Cool, cool. Well, and then I know that you guys, and you mentioned it early, that you guys put a lot of attention on theme and the whole display and the feel around the trial, and I know that takes a lot of work from a big team. Can you talk a little bit about the amount of work you guys put in, when you really start planning for the upcoming year's trials, and what you think attendees will gain from visiting your new site?
A good question because what it takes is a lot of planning, coffee, more planning, capital.
Yeah,
So it's our biggest event of the year. You know, we're moving into a brand new venue this year. We've had like a big time just trying to source things that we were used to sourcing up in Northern California. So we've got to find new people to rent tents from. We've got to find new caterers. So all that stuff is taxing this year. So it takes a lot of plan, especially this event this year.
for sure.
And I think, you know, the planning, you know, basically starts the moment cast is over for the past year. We're
Yep.
already thinking about the new themes, new varieties that we're going to have. And we definitely shouldn't say some of those that we come up with on the fly. We shouldn't say out loud in meetings. So some weird ones that come up. So by late summer, we have a good solid idea of the grow list. And by early fall, we're already locking in the actual list of items we're going to grow for the next year. And of course, none of this would be possible without our marketing team, who somehow managed to keep us on track and mildly unhinged. So basically, the planning of a cast event at Benary.
No, that's so true. It is a full team, full year planning, and you guys are one of the stops that always does a great job hosting and making everyone feel welcome. The food's always been great up north, so hopefully you got your caterer dialed in for the south, and I'm sure you guys do.
And we hope our cocktails won't disappoint you either.
Right?
So yeah, you know, well, hopefully we'll have a lot of the new introductions drawn out just like they would appear at retail, so customers can kind of see everything that's coming and how it would look at retail. We hope to have ideas for combinations with all those new plants, the kind of pot sizes and the displays. And then just to get face-to-face time with our area sales managers if customers haven't seen them already. I think it's a great way to stay plugged in into what's blooming literally and figuratively in the industry. Plus, you get
Ah,
the fresh air and sunshine of Southern California.
I think you summed that up really, really well, and that is the whole spirit of spring trials is that collaboration, the beauty of the new varieties. And I guess we should probably get to the question that everybody tunes in for is maybe if you want to shout out a few of the new varieties that your team's most excited to showcase at the Spring Trials 2026, maybe a sneak preview. However you want to approach it is fine with me.
Well, Pentas is having another big year. So, yes, we have somehow managed to top last year's excitement.
Wow.
There's a brand new color range coming, and it's not yellow,
Okay.
but it's just thrilling. So, I'll keep it vague as an intense teaser there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're also continue our exploration in interspecific begonias. What year wouldn't be full without new begonias? So not just playing with a flower color this year, but really seeing how far we can push leaf color, make something truly unique on the bench and interesting for customers. So I'll stop there before I accidentally reveal too much.
No, those are good teasers. I mean, that leaves a lot for us to consider and wonder about, but they can all be seen in California in March.
Yeah, we're
Well,
really looking forward to it.
me too, me too. I think that all really sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing the Benary trial in a new location. And Dwight, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
And now's the time for all the listeners to head over to the National Garden Bureau registration site at caspringtrials.us. You'll find a link in the show notes. Get registered and consider bringing a handful of people from your team, because everybody has a different eye when it comes to new varieties. Something you miss might be really high on someone else's list and could be your next big seller. And don't forget to subscribe to the Tech on Demand podcast on your favorite app. That way you will never miss an episode.